Good day, my name is Joe. Today I want to go over all the expansions for the board game Obsession. Obsession is one of our favorite games that we have in the collection, and I've done a base review of this game. However, it comes with several expansions and just wanted to give a high level overview of what those come with and how they interact with the game. So let's get into it. So the first one's just going to be the Wesex expansion. This is going to add an extra house to the base game. This extra house starts with an extra tile, which is kind of nice. An option of 2 tiles, to be frank. And it kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility at the beginning of the game. And that's really neat. An extra house is always welcome, especially when you're trying to do like a little house randomizer. And then it also comes with a couple new tiles, basically Prestige 1 tiles that can really help jumpstart if those are out there early in the game. Next, I'm not really sure if this one's available or not, but a lot of the promo cards and a couple of the promo tiles come in a size about this large. These are just extra cards and tiles. I really do like these. I think they're neat and interesting. I think they say don't add a ton to each of the deck every game, because just like the cat in the base game, some of them are a little bit out there, and when you draw them, you're like, wow, this one does something pretty neat. But adding a couple extra little tiles in there adds a little bit more flair to what you get in the game. So then we're going to go to the first big expansion, the upstairs downstairs expansion. This expansion adds quite a bit. I usually don't read too much, but it's going to add some more tiles, especially some more 5 prestige tiles, so a little bit higher up there. So once you get to the higher prestige, you have a little bit more options when those come out. It's going to add more monuments, so a different kind of way to play, I believe. It comes with the low VP monuments, so they're a little bit cheaper and easy to get, but they don't provide as much VP. A new board. These do replace the victory point cards, so they give you larger victory point cards, and I do think that's nice. As the ones in the base game, they were a little bit small, but they were very workable. These are just a little bit larger. It's going to come with more tiles. It's going to come with the Howard family, which I'll get to in a second. But what this adds for the most part is going to be 4 unique meeples and servants that you can get. The cook has a few tiles on its own, but can add some reputation and can kind of enhance the experience and let you take guests that are a little bit lower, 1 or 2 lower prestige, and kind of boost them up to the activity that you're doing. It's going to come with one of I think the handmade, I forgot what these other ones were called. Give me a second real quick. The hall boy, the head housemaid, and the useful man. The useful man can help during the village fair times, give you kind of a boost. The hall boy can give you a little bit extra money, and the housemaid, you can draw, an extra card and kind of mitigate some luck. You'll have to discard one of them, but you can play the housemaid with that activity you do. But it also adds some extra variation that kind of, I wouldn't say fixes the base game, but adds a little bit to it. The objective card, you draw, I believe, 4 in the extended game. We only play the extended game here. You draw 4 at the beginning of the game and then kind of go like that on the way down. So you kind of end up scoring 4 victory point cards at the end of the game. And you can kind of, that's always been a random part of the game, is when you score, the objective cards. When you get these objective cards, you don't really know what you're going to get, so you can cycle those a little bit better. The game itself, you start with one of those either special servants, or you can get an extra just basic servant. So it kind of gives you a jump start, lets you that variable player power a little bit more at the beginning of the game. And like I said, those servants have their own tiles that can be used. They have the new objective deck that can be used with that, so you can try to get certain servants. And it's just kind of a neat, interesting upgrade. And I would say the upstairs downstairs is probably my favorite expansion of all these, because I think it adds so much. And House Howard does get to start with, I believe it is a cook just straight onto your tableau, and that's your starting ability. Next, we're going to go into the expansion where I wouldn't call it an expansion, but more of an upgrade, is the metal coins. And well, metal coins, you either love them or hate them. We love them. We think these are just so neat. Just feel a little bit more weighty. The ones that come in the base box are fine. These they kind of have some clink to them. So if you really like metal coins and you play Obsession a lot, it does feel good to throw these around. There's two variants. There's the 1 and the 5, but they are fun just to have around. And then we're going to go into the characters expansion, and oh man, this one it adds quite a lot. You're definitely going to get the bang for your buck in the characters expansion. It's going to add extra cards for each family except Howard. Sorry, Howard, your starting ability is already good enough, where you will be able to replace one of your initial family members with kind of a little bit of upgraded family member. And that's kind of really nice. If you think that you'd like to get a little bit of extra money at the start, well, you take that card instead. And so once again, you're going to have the same number of family members, just one of them is going to be upgraded. And I love that a lot. This one's also going to add a sideboard and give you a different passing mechanism. So when you pass at the end of the turn, you can choose to take one of these other actions. You can go to the Dowager, the Constable, or the Reverend. You have to place one of your white servants there, and you get this power on the next activation. You can change out some of your objective cards, which reduces randomness. You can get almost the exact card you need from the Dowager as far as the people in your court go, or the Constable. With all these extra expansions, they do provide some extra cards, some extra common guests and prestige guests. But a lot of these common guests, now kind of have some negative qualities to them, and the Constable can get rid of all of them for you. A lot of the tiles added throughout these expansions as well let you kind of cycle and get rid of some of these less wanted people in your court, and I think that's pretty funny. So it's going to add an extra thing that you do on your pass step. So you can do that probably once or twice, maybe 3 times per game. I don't know if you'd want to do it 3 times per game, but you do get to do that. What I did forget to say in the upstairs, downstairs expansion and this one, when you pass, another thing you can do now is do your higher servants ability. So you don't have to spend a whole action to do higher servants. When you pass, you get to refresh all your stuff and potentially get to higher servants, which is really nice because nobody wanted to spend just a whole turn just to be getting those servants. So great entry to the game. Once again, they give you more tiles, but the big thing on this one was this sideboard. Now I say that, now it adds a variant catalog. So if you get tired of the base game or get tired of this or that, or want some drafting rules, some courtship variants, all these other variants, it comes with a 19-page book of just different ways to play Obsession. And this is in the characters expansion. This is awesome. And then it also gives you we have not tried this, a cooperative way to play. So if you do want to play Obsession cooperatively, kind of like the viticulture, I'm sure, where, you're just kind of working together, there's another way to play. The upstairs, downstairs, the Wesex, and the characters expansion all come with solo cards to play with as well. They give you some more solo challenges. So that's kind of the overview of the characters expansion. So what do I think of all the expansions? What would I suggest if I were going to suggest anything? I would say there's no bad expansion to this game. The one problem that we are coming on now is there's a little bit too much on the board. This was a very compact game at some point in our lives, and every expansion has added a little bit more, kind of a modular expanding. Now, it's not too much force, but it does start to creep in on table space and extra space, and having to do all this stuff beforehand. Make sure that you've added in the right tiles, add in the right prestige cards at the right time, not to put too many in those. Our draw bag for all of our places is now very large. It's not a bad thing. It's just the variance is going to be pretty big. But with the characters expansion, they've really made sure that the variance of the game does kind of compact as much, and there's a little bit less randomness, which is really nice. I don't mind randomness in this game. I just love the theme itself. If I were going to say get one, the upstairs downstairs is great. I love those extra meeples. I especially love the cook. And the under butler is really neat. Give you some extra money throughout the game. Just having those objective cards. I just think the upstairs downstairs is a great expansion. The characters expansion is great if you want to play cooperatively, if you want to have a variant, and if you want to make sure that when you pass, you have the most options you want when you pass. The characters expansion is going to reduce the variance in the game and have a little bit less randomness. The promo are going to just be promo tiles. If you just want more tiles, I would get that. The Wesex expansion is going to add that extra Wesex board. And I think Wesex is very balanced. Also remember the characters expansion does give you kind of you can upgrade a family member at the beginning of the game, which is really nice. So if I was going to give an overall buying list, I would say upstairs, downstairs, Wesex, then characters, and if you feel like it, promo, and then coins. There's a lot to this game. We really enjoy this game. Like I said, becoming a tiny bit unwieldy. However, for the most part, this game plays the exact same. Just the setup as you add these expansions and modules are going to take a little bit more time every time. So Obsession, we really enjoy it. We really like all the expansions, and it just adds more theme to a game that we enjoy. So hopefully you enjoyed the expansion overview, and until next time.